Hi guys, welcome back to Kirshner Farmstead. I'm Justin.
And I'm Kirsty.
And today we're going to be talking about all natural weed and pest control around the homestead and in the garden.
Viewers actually requested that we do this video so that they could find out what our methods were. That's Cammie and Stefan. We thank you guys for suggesting it. Colt is messing with my hat.
We don't have one perfect solution. We really put a couple different methods together for both weed and pest control in our garden and around our homestead. It takes all sorts to be able to keep control of it with organic methods.
Yeah,
all natural methods.
Not one thing. If you're just trying to do one thing that's going to do it all, it's really not going to work. It takes several different things over the course of the year. Really, it's not just like a certain season, and it's not a one-time one thing. Even chemical pesticides don't work, or they would only have to spray them once. Yeah. So these things, we're going to be talking about a whole variety of different things that we do.
The first one I want to go over is mulching. Mulching is a great way to smother the weeds by simply adding more organic material on top of the weeds that are coming up out of the ground. So what we like to do is before we start planting, in the areas we know we're not going to plant, we put a little bit of extra mulch, kind of make sure the weeds stay down on our footpaths and around the areas of our plants. And then we'll plant the plants, and then we'll add the mulch in around them to kind of keep the weeds free and clear of the new plants.
And you really want a nice thick layer of mulch, like 3-4 inches thick of mulch to really smother the weeds out. And then as you see the weeds, if they pop up, because there are some that will, you can pull them, or you can just put more mulch over them to try to smother them out. Whatever you guys think will be best for you.
The 3 inches or more of mulch is very important, because the weeds will find their way through if you only put a thin layer.
Yes, they will. We have some pretty invasive weed species here.
Yeah. They get away from you really quick too, so putting the thicker layer will make it last longer through the season without having to add more. So another method is burning with a torch. Now this method
works great.
It does.
It's really nice. Just make sure that you do check that it's a burn day before you decide to do it.
Definitely.
Seriously, make sure.
Don't do it around any sensitive plants that you may have, anything that could get burned from the heat of the torch, because your plants won't be liking it. Also, with the torch, make sure you're getting it hot enough that you're burning any of the seeds off the weeds. If not, you're just kind of activating the seeds, and you could make it worse in the long run.
The ideal way to burn the plants is if if they aren't going to seed yet, like if the weeds are so small that they haven't yet seeded, then that's the ideal time. But I don't know about you guys, there's always weed seeds everywhere. Like whether they fell spring or fall or whatever, they're out there. So yeah, try to burn them and burn it hot enough and do this before you mulch. Burn it all before mulching.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The tilling, getting out there and tilling before the season it's really important. We try and not till everything if we don't have to. If we can get away with just leaving the natural dirt there, letting the mycelium grow, letting the worms grow, and letting everything kind of just stay in its and kind of let everything just grow, it does really good. But you have to keep a handle on those weeds. But the tilling does work very well to loosen up the soil, get rid of the weeds, and it allows you to go through and kind of reset your ground.
All right, another thing about tilling that kind of reaches over into the pest control is we have very invasive gophers here. And we've tried no-tilling, and inevitably the gopher colonies just get completely out of control. So when you till on a semi-regular basis, we normally till fall and spring or something like that, but it breaks up their dens, and it lessens the chances of there being so many of them. One year we went I think we went 2 years.
Yeah, it was 2.
Yeah, I think we went 2 years trying the no-till method, and oh man, we lost hundreds of plants to gophers. So that's in the pest control, is tilling does help with gopher control.
Most definitely. And like I was saying, it does help align your rows and get the dirt kind of mixed in. If you're wanting to amend with some sand or different soils, it definitely helps get it all in there.
Yeah, we have really dense clay here that we've been working on since we moved in, and it's hard when you don't till with clay.
So another method, vinegar for getting rid of weeds. We don't use this method, but it is another option for you. They say within about 48 hours, you'll notice the leaves on the weeds will wilt and start to die. We don't use that method really.
Not because it doesn't work. We just use so many other methods that we normally don't end up needing it. But there are several respectable farmers, and there are several reliable farmers that will tell you that it works great. So
definitely
feel free to try that, especially if you have like gravel driveways or concrete with cracks, and you can spray the vinegar in the cracks instead of spraying poison. Spray vinegar.
Yep. Now getting into pest control, we get aphids later in the season on all our greens, and
greens especially,
and if we don't take care of them. So we have a mix that we like to use.
Last year our plum trees got aphids. We were like, what the heck? But all 4 of our big plum trees were totally infested with aphids, and we got absolutely no plum harvest. So it is definitely a concern.
But when we did realize that they had an aphid problem, we were able to make this mixture that we're going to show you, and it took care of the aphid problem and helped the plum trees get through the rest of the season. So
you're going to take 6 cups of water. This is a half-gallon mason jar. So you can put 6 cups of water in it, and then you're going to put just a little bit, like a teaspoon, maybe 2, just like squirt some in there, of the peppermint castile soap. We use the Dr. Bronner's, but put that in there, and then you cut up 1 onion, like dice it into little pieces, and then you do all of the cloves of garlic, and all of the cloves in this head of garlic, and then you are going to get, this is just cayenne pepper, but you are going to get the hottest pepper that you can find. Like, we grow ghost peppers, and we will use ghost peppers for this because it does work. And it also works against pincher bugs.
Works against pincher bugs, little roly-polies, anything really that'll climb up the stalks of your plants.
Yeah. Aphids, a lot of people do say that if you just spray the aphids off with high-powered hose, that they fall down and they can't climb back up. I don't know. We've never had very good luck with that, but it helps get them off for a few days, but they just come back. Last year we actually we grow all of our summer vegetables. Well, not all of them, but our summer vegetables like peppers and tomatoes and eggplants are all started indoors in our indoor seed growing room, and then we moved them out to the greenhouse. Well, I decided to bring some plants in from a not local nursery, and they wound up infesting our indoor seed growing room with aphids. All of our peppers had aphids before they even went outside. Now, I didn't even do the really strong solution for that. All I did was I took just a couple teaspoons of the soap and put it in a sprayer of water, and I sprayed the plants down every few days with it, and it really did help. It made it so that they weren't sucking the life out of the plants, and we were able to at least get them to where they could be planted out, and because of the type of aphids that they were, when we planted them out, they all died, so it was fine. But it really wouldn't have been fine if we wouldn't have done anything in the meantime, because it was like March, and you can't plant peppers out here in March. So it really does work. So if you have an aphid problem, definitely. Another thing that works really well for bugs like pincher bugs in cabbages and roly-polies and what's another one?
Slugs?
Slugs. Oh,
yeah.
Well, we'll talk about slugs in a second. But diatomaceous earth is a good option for getting rid of bugs, but you have to remember, do not ever get it on the flowers because it will kill bees too. So if you sprinkle the diatomaceous earth inside of the flowers, then the bees will go to the flowers and get it on them, and it will kill them. So just be careful if you do use that you only get it on the dirt around the bottom of the plant, because bees normally don't crawl around on the dirt. Now slugs. Slugs are a pain.
So when we plant out our greens, we have to make sure we're really prompt with dealing with the slug problem. If we...
Oh my gosh. He's trying to eat garlic.
If we don't, they'll completely decimate our lettuces.
Yeah, we've lost 100. One year we lost like 150 baby kale plants because we planted them out so small that the slugs just destroyed them in like 3 days. So, but the good news is there's a great over-the-counter organic certified pesticide that you can use for slugs, and it's called Sluggo.
It comes in a small pellet form, and you sprinkle it around your plants. It's non-toxic, 100% non-toxic
to birds, dogs, kids,
yep,
everything.
But sprinkle it around the plants, and it even they say it's good through the rains. I think after 1 or 2 rains, I'd probably reapply it, but
yeah,
it works really well, and it takes care of the slug problem.
Okay, so we went and grabbed the Sluggo so we could show you guys. It's all that's in it, the active ingredient is iron phosphate. That is what kills the slugs. And they don't eat it and like die right there or whatever. They like crawl away and go die somewhere else. So there's not like a ton of slugs laying around, but it works great. It was a game changer for our lettuce crop because we were growing lettuce, and I mean, you can't sell lettuce that might have slugs in it. There's just no way. So we found this, and right there it says for organic gardening, and you know that's what we're about. So it's important, and it does work. It works for slugs and snails. I thought it worked for something else too.
Yeah,
but
slugs and snails.
Slugs and snails, but I swear there was something else on there. But yeah, so that is a very good option for control of slugs.
I think that's all we have to cover right now. And thank you for watching. And remember, please subscribe to our videos so you see more. We're going to keep getting videos posted and out to you guys.
Yes, and please remember to share them too. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Have a good weekend, guys.